Live from the Channel 4 studios in Dallas and Fort Worth, this is News 4 Texas Nightbeat.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Dallas police homicide detectives have been called out to a home in southeast Dallas. Police were called to a shooting in the 1100 block of Seaford in the Pleasant Grove area, southeast Dallas. Rebecca Aguilar joins us live now from the scene with the latest. Rebecca.
Mark, a 15-year-old teenage girl is dead tonight from a gunshot wound. And right now, investigators are trying to determine whether the girl's shooting was an accident or deliberate. Now, the shooting happened around 8:30 tonight. Police say a group of people, mostly family, had gathered at the Seaford Street home this evening. In a back bedroom, a gun went off, and that's where paramedics found the teenage girl. Right now, homicide investigators are here gathering evidence. They have not said whether a weapon has been found. Again, investigators are trying to determine whether or not this was an accidental shooting. Back to me live here at the scene. Detectives are inside the home right now, looking over the back bedroom. At this time, they are not releasing the girl's name, and the girl's family is with her at Parkland, where she died. Live from Pleasant Grove, I'm Rebecca Aguilar reporting. Back to you, Mark.
So, Rebecca, I suppose that it will be some time before police decide if they will file charges in this case.
Again, we do not know if it's an accident or deliberate, so we do not know if there's even a suspect involved in this case. So that's hard to tell.
Okay, Rebecca Aguilar reporting live from southeast Dallas. Police in Plano search for answers to a police shooting at a neighborhood respite house that left a teenager dead. A Plano police officer shot and killed 16-year-old Michael Clement. Police say Clement was wielding a knife, trying to attack the officer. It's still unclear whether the boy was a client at the house, a facility which caters to the emotionally and mentally disturbed.
Our officer arrived at that location. He was confronted by a 16-year-old male who had a knife. The 16-year-old charged the officer. The officer fired his weapon twice and struck the 16-year-old.
Michael Clement died from 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. Plano police are conducting criminal and administrative investigations. Tonight, candidate Bill Clinton is the target of the nation's largest lobbying group wanting to do him in politically. The rhetoric heated up again today at the NRA's national convention in Phoenix. Barbara White joins us live now from Arizona with that story. Barbara.
Mark, in just a few moments, Republican presidential hopeful and Texas Senator Phil Gramm will be speaking to hundreds of NRA members at a banquet here. Graham's speech comes on a day when NRA leaders have been talking tough about presidential politics.
On the rebound from controversy, NRA leaders say they're setting the record straight.
We don't break the laws, we help make the laws.
If it's still not clear, consider this. The NRA is putting President Clinton on notice.
We are the people who helped clean out Congress in 1994, and we are going to help clean your clock in 1996.
The remarks brought a rousing response from hundreds of members who packed this convention hall.
That most members of the NRA feel like that Bill Clinton is infringing upon our Second Amendment rights.
I don't think it's the NRA that's going to be after Bill Clinton. I think it's the American public that's going to be after Bill Clinton in 96.
This morning, Dallas NRA member Dave Edmondson passed out flyers critical of the NRA, but his campaign to counter the group's leadership fizzled by noon.
The atmosphere is so tense that it would be counterproductive. There is no need to anger these people further.
Protesters lined the Civic Center walk.
We have no problem with gun ownership. What we do have a problem with is them pushing their extremist political agenda.
Some say the NRA will lose members as a result of the recent controversy. Today, at least, that wasn't the case here. 10-month-old Jamie Terry is being signed on as a life member. Jamie's parents say it's one way to make sure the NRA continues for generations to come.
We have not seen a text of Senator Graham's speech tonight before that NRA banquet. It's expected to be about crime and punishment, and no doubt it will be aimed at stirring up support for his presidential bid. In Phoenix, reporting live, I'm Barbara White, News 4 Texas Nightbeat.
Barbara, one quick question. Any word yet? Have you heard from any of the NRA members about who they might support and endorse this presidential campaign season?
Well, I think it is too early at this point, Mark. Obviously, Senator Graham is going to try and score some political points here tonight. They'll, of course, be probably hearing from Senator Dole as well. I guess you could, at this point in time, rule out Bill Clinton because they clearly, the leadership of the NRA, does not want to see him reelected.
Okay, Barbara White reporting live from Phoenix, Arizona. President Clinton has ordered the immediate closure of Pennsylvania Avenue to secure the White House from any terrorist attacks. Workmen placed concrete barriers on either end to shut the 6-lane road. The president says it's a way to protect the executive mansion from attacks like the one in Oklahoma City.
That terrible tragedy and the means used to create the enormous devastation serve to reinforce and confirm the absolute necessity of these actions to protect the president, those who will succeed him, and the White House.
On the other side, critics say the change will only cause traffic headaches. The closing will block traffic on 2 blocks of Pennsylvania Avenue. Former Defense Secretary Les Aspen is reported in critical condition at a Washington hospital tonight. Seen here in file video, Aspen was admitted to Georgetown University Medical Center today after suffering a stroke. But according to a spokesperson, Aspen was, quote, awake, lucid, and speaking. Aspen's doctors are said to be hopeful for a good recovery. Aspen is 56 years old and has a history of heart trouble. When you tune in to the CBS Evening News on Monday, you'll notice a big difference. There will be one less anchor. Friday was Connie Chung's last night on the anchor desk. Earlier tonight, CBS pulled Chung from that duty, and her future with the Tiffany Network is in doubt. Chung was pushing for a more active role in the dual anchor team as ratings for the new cast sank to 3rd place. Dan Rather will resume his solo anchor status held until June 1993 when Chung was added. Mr. Rather, who gave tonight's commencement speech at the University of Texas at Austin, said, quote, I welcomed her arrival and I regret her departure. Iran is calling off the hunt for author Salman Rushdie following the author's appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman. According to a British newspaper, Iran has promised not to send out assassins to kill the author of the book, The Satanic Verses. Rushdie received the equivalent of a death sentence for allegedly blaspheming Islam. The novelist delivered Letterman's top 10 list on Friday. Tonight, the fate of a convicted killer is in the hands of a Fort Worth jury. Earlier today, that jury found Darren Deshaun Curl guilty on 2 counts of capital murder. It was a little more than a year and a half ago that Curl killed students Channing Freelove and Melanie Golchert, all over a pound of marijuana. It was Freelove's 19th birthday. Curl confessed to the killings, but later recanted. Prosecutors claim Curl and another man, Melvin White, were involved in other crimes as well.
The murder of a man and the filling full of holes of 2 other men, those are both very compelling crimes, not to mention the drive-by shooting they were involved in, where, again, they didn't know anybody. They were just shooting at random.
Is life more appropriate than death? And so, consequently, we're going to see a lot of information about my client, his upbringing, the victims in this case.
Curl's alleged accomplice, Melvin White, is slated to go on trial later this year. Now, the prosecution should wrap up its case in the sentencing phase by Monday afternoon. Then the defense will get its turn. Curl could get the death penalty. Still ahead on Nightbeat, a close call for some area boaters. Find out what's caused an accident on Lake Ray Hubbard today. Then a bit later on the lighter side, find out why Ennis cooks just say no to beans. And here's a look now at the winning Lotto Texas and Pick 3 numbers. Good luck. An apartment fire in Richardson leaves several people homeless tonight. Investigators tell News 4 Texas the fire started in an upstairs unit at the Regency Apartments. Flames spread quickly through the building, causing fire and smoke damage to at least 16 apartments. No one was hurt. Right now, the Red Cross is helping the displaced families. You know, with Memorial Day weekend coming up, officials are warning boaters to be safe. A warning too late for the folks on board this vessel on Lake Ray Hubbard today. 7 people were injured today when one ski boat jumped a wake and hit another ski boat that was sitting still. All 7 victims were transported to the hospital. None of the injuries are serious. It's been warm across North Texas, but it was nothing but chilly today in Ennis. More than 100 contestants from across the Southwest met to face off in the 16th annual Top Off Texas Chili Cook-Off. Recipes range from just plain hot to 5-alarm chili. But if there's one thing all the chili connoisseurs agreed on, it's the question of whether real chili is made with beans.
I'm telling you right now, there is no beans in real chili.
Anybody knows beans about chili knows chili has no beans.
There is no beans in chili. None. Zip. Out of here.
Guess that answers the question. The judges awarded top honors this year to Greg Goodman from Waxahachie. Congratulations to Greg and to Ron Jackson for today's great weather. Ron's full forecast when we come back. And some tips for those of you who suffered storm damage recently. Here's a hint. You better hurry up. Red Cross officials are encouraging folks affected by this month's storms to hurry up and get to the Fort Worth Relief Center before it closes for good. The Fort Worth Disaster Relief Service Center at the Riverside Recreation Center will close tomorrow at 5 p.m. Victims applying for assistance tomorrow must bring identification and proof that he or she lives in the area affected by the storms. Tell you what, big difference between 3 weeks ago and this week.
This weekend, did you have a good Saturday?
Had a good Saturday. Got the lawn mowed and a beautiful day for it.
Beautiful day, no rain, and I think tomorrow's weather should almost be a carbon copy of today, maybe a little bit warmer. But then some changes coming in.
Always.
Oh, that's right. Let's take a look, see what it's like outside. Still a great evening out there, and I hope everyone had a great Saturday. 73 degrees in Dallas under partly cloudy skies, 59% humidity. Winds right now southeasterly at about 10 miles per hour, and the pressure is rising at 29.95 inches. In Fort Worth, partly cloudy skies, 72, humidity at 51%, the wind southeasterly at 9, and the pressure is rising at 29.93. And rising pressure is usually an indication of fair weather ahead. Today's daytime high, a very pleasant 82. The overnight low this morning of 58. Those temperatures are pretty close to normal for this time of year, but a long ways away from the records. 98 the record high in 1922, 48 the record low in 1981, and of course no rain. Let's take a look and see where it is raining, and fortunately no rain coming down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but there are some very heavy showers and thunderstorms over the Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle. Matter of fact, we've had several reports of hail reported just north and east of Amarillo this evening in Wheeler County as well as Lipscomb County. We've had reports of quarter to dime-size hail reported, but at the present time there are no severe thunderstorm watches or warnings in effect, and I think all this precipitation is going to stay well to the north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Here's a satellite loop over the last 24 hours, and a very weak disturbance did come across the area earlier this morning, but no precipitation associated with it. A very weak cold front just now starting to move into the extreme northern tier of Oklahoma. Probably won't make it this far to the south. Matter of fact, it's going to turn stationary and then move back towards the north as a warm front. And what that simply means for us is I think we'll see an increase in cloudiness tomorrow. So we'll see mostly cloudy skies in the morning and then some high-level cloudiness by tomorrow afternoon. But temperature-wise, it should be very pleasant. I think afternoon highs will be climbing up into the mid to upper 80s. Partly cloudy skies are expected here tonight. And by tomorrow, with high pressure sliding off towards the east, I think we will see those south to southeasterly winds, scattered showers and thunderstorms north of Oklahoma City. And by Monday, well, I think it's going to be much like what we're expecting tomorrow. I think with the south winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, I think we'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures still quite pleasant. Afternoon highs on Monday are expected to climb up into the mid-80s, scattered showers and thunderstorms well to the north. Overnight lows tonight will find us dropping down into the low to mid-60s, so probably not as cool as it has been for the last couple of nights. 50s are expected in the Panhandle, stretching all the way into the Big Bend country. And tomorrow's daytime highs, if you have any outdoor activities, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Readings are expected to climb up into the mid to upper 80s, 90s out in far west Texas, as well as the Big Bend country. Here's my forecast then. Partly cloudy skies are expected tonight, an overnight low of 65. Partly cloudy tomorrow, about 86. Partly cloudy on Monday, about 85. 86 on Tuesday. And then I think there's a good chance that we'll see thunderstorms towards the middle of next week, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. Some of that activity may be severe. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Ron, thanks much. Up next in sports, the Rangers and Brewers continue their series at the ballpark. And the Rockets and Suns play an unbelievable Game 7. And Sir Charles says, so long. Max Morgan has sports when we come back.